1.5 hours from now is when the press conference will be held, and that's where Sunil Prabhu is, inside the National Media Center, where the army will be briefing the press as to what really happened. Details of Operation Sindoor will be coming out. Sunil, my question is, because this was a tri-service operation, are we expecting just one press conference, or will others, what will be the nature of this, in terms of composition? Are you expecting an army representation also from the Air Force and the Indian Navy?
Well, you're very right, a very important question. And I'll just show you those visuals, of the seating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, you can see the army personnel have already come here to, put the names of the boards of the people who are going to be taking part in this briefing. They will be led by a Major General, a Brigadier. There will be a colonel also, and as you rightly pointed out, there will be somebody from the Indian Air Force who will be present. We are also told the MEA spokesperson will be there to be part of this entire, so that India speaks in one voice to the world and sends a very correct message about what exactly is happening, Maria. And these are statements which will be extremely carefully watched because it's an important step, and the strikes that have taken place are in retaliation to what happened in Pahalgam, where we lost so many lives, innocent lives, who had no, were not involved in any military or any other, operation. They were innocent civilians enjoying themselves with their family when terrorists struck, and the terrorists came from across the border.
We've also got General Satish Dua who joins us. General Dua, let me come to you first. The larger message which India has sent, perhaps the deepest strikes inside Pakistan since the 1971 war, not just 1 or 2 strikes, but approximately 9. What is the bigger message here?
I think, Vishnu, the bigger message here is, let me begin from the beginning, that when we had a surgical strike after Uri in 2016, it was shallow raids at the terror launch pads and training camps across the LOC. When Pulwama happened, it was a precision airstrike deep inside Pakistan. But this time round, since they have raised the ante and they have actually killed civilian tourists with a very different aim. Now, that being said, this time the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the country announced that we are going to do something like this. We have already taken the other measures. We'll not discuss about Indus Water Treaty, about diplomatic measures, economic measures, etc. So, with this strike, early hours of this morning, we have struck at 9 locations. As the Prime Minister said, we will not only hit the terrorists, but also the terror ecosystem across the border. And that is precisely what we've done. There are 2 things in this. Before I come to the message, I think striking at the headquarters of LET, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, this is the kind of strike at the ecosystem. And for the first time, it is not only deep inside Pakistan, 4 locations in Punjab have been struck. Now, Punjab, everyone knows, is the heartland of Pakistan. And this time round, Muridke is 30 kilometers from Lahore. So, these are the kind of, this message that goes across now is very clear.
Sir, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you here. Just give us a moment because my colleague Radhika is in Mumbai at this moment and she's joined by one of the victims of the Pahalgam terror attacks. Their family is with Radhika. This is a significant moment, Radhika, for the people, those who lost their loved ones in that dastardly terror attack.
Absolutely. This was a significant moment as far as families of the victims are concerned. 64-year-old Dilip Desley lost his life when he was on a holiday with his wife and he was shot dead in front of his wife. This is what happened. He was from Panvel and I am with his relatives, Dilip Desley's relative Prajakta as well as Sanjay. Of course, a retaliatory step has taken place. India has attacked Pakistan in several of the terror infrastructure. Do you see this as a sense of justice for families of those who lost their loved ones?
Honestly, sense of justice, that would be a right answer. A person has already been lost. So only thing is what Honorable Prime Minister has done, a huge respect to him for what he has done today. But I can't say it's injustice for our family.
All right. What do you want to say, sir? Is there some sort of closure for a family
I
member?
had a strong belief in in my government, and I am very happy and proud. But the only thing is that ensure that this is not repeated, because even a small single loss is a big loss for a family, and it is not the one person who is get affected; it is a hell lot of people get affected.
And how has the family been coping? Over the last couple of
The
weeks.
family is still in trauma because we are still getting a lot of relatives. We are visiting our village hometowns, the rituals and all. So it will take some time to cope up. It is not going to be 100% for sure.
And this morning, when you heard the news, what went through your minds? Especially of the wives. I'm sure you're in touch with the wife who saw what had happened.
Yes, but honestly, I have not been in contact with her since morning. But whatever we saw in the morning, as I told, it was a big relief that some action has been taken by government. But as I told you, that whatever is lost. We are not going to get it back.
Absolutely. And how has the family coping, sir, over the last 2 weeks? Because, you've...
It will take time. It will take time. We can't expect her to cope up because it is a huge loss, and I don't think it is going to be 10-15 days.
And so what do you want the country, Prime Minister Modi, and what do you want the centre to understand about the loss? Because a lot has happened over the last few weeks. Multiple retaliatory action has taken place diplomatically. Now, of course, an attack has taken place. So what would you like the centre to understand coming from the victims' families?
No, I think they have understood what we wanted, and they have done exactly what was expected. And this action is definitely going to what I can say, give them the response that, okay, this country is into retaliatory mode. And apart from that, the other steps that has been taken, which is going to affect them in a big way. So all in all, I think that why the Pakistan is existing here. Is it just for the terrorism, or is it something for else? So that is what I believe.
Any other message that you'd like to give? Somebody who suffered this loss?
Somebody has suffered, but the only thing is that it should not be repeated again. It should not absolutely zero tolerance on this. And Jammu Kashmir is our own country, and we should not have a fear to reach out to go over there. So right now the situation is not like that. We are having a fear to go there. So I want that to be changed.
And I think Dilip Desle went there for the first time after his retirement, right?
After our recommendation only. Okay. We only had discussion, and we thought that let's go to that place. It is now safe, it is sound, and we can go. So he had been, I think Vaishno Devi we had been. So we thought that let's go a step ahead. So, and we paid the price for that.
Right, I'm really sorry about that. There you heard family members of Dilip Desle, how they had planned the trip for 64-year-old Dilip soon after his retirement. This was the first visit, as far as Dilip is concerned, was his first visit to Kashmir, but that didn't turn out well at all. Tragic, certainly, but of course, obviously the family members here are relieved that some sort of action has taken place, but they feel more must be done, and this cannot be repeated, and that J&K should be a place where every citizen can visit without any fear and with confidence.
All right, Radhika, thanks very much for joining us. So just about 1 hour, 20 minutes from now for that important press conference. What we don't know at this juncture is whether there'll be questions and answers or just a statement. But there are more than 5 people who will be on the dais from the armed forces. So we do believe that there is a good chance of that taking place. In case you've just joined us now, India has conducted the biggest ever attack on Pakistan since the 1971 war, hitting terror camps all across opposite the line of control, the international border, some more than 150 kilometers deep into Pakistan, opposite Rajasthan and Punjab. So that's how far we went. The attacks took place at approximately 1:30 a.m., 1:40 a.m. this morning. There are reports of certain air battles which may have taken place. We are waiting for details of that. But let's just go back to General Yash Moore at this stage. Thanks, General Moore, very much for being with us. The Pakistani response to this has been massive artillery shelling across the line of control and the international border. and this is something we need to talk about as much, that you've got 155mm guns which have opened up on both sides. Our sources telling us that India has inflicted very serious damage on that side. So the LOC is live now. What does that mean?
Yeah, Vishnu, firstly, we must compliment the government of India and the armed forces, the calm, cool, and collected manner in which we have hit Pakistan. I think this is absolutely different. It was shock and awe in the best way possible. We have never seen this. Earlier strikes were shallow. Earlier strikes were different. We used to mobilize in Oprakram. We stayed there, came back. But this time, I think it was, more better calculated, better synergy between the forces and, of course, the nation at large. So compliments to the forces to have done this. Now, coming to the strike proper and what is going to happen on the LC. See, the philosophy of proactive stance is very clear. We have hit them hard. This was the first phase of the escalatory ladder, if you can say. Now we must hit them harder and continue hitting harder as we go up the chain of the escalatory ladder. Because at each stage we must be more proactive. We must be more aggressive. Because we have hit all targets which are of Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. No military targets have been hit or installations where Pakistan Army and all is there. So probably once the retaliation comes back, then we will be having second list, third list, and many other options will be available to the forces. Many other target lists will be there, which will be activated now. So I think this is time to stay strong, stay united, and do not believe in a lot of Pakistani propaganda that would have started or is already started on the social media. Vishnu.
First response, sir, and as expected from Pakistan, of course, they try and push in as much propaganda as they can to try and build some sort of a narrative for them. But very quickly, because we are talking about specifically, in the border areas, heightened sense of alertness of, anticipating any misadventure from Pakistan. My colleague Gurpreet is joining us at this moment from Firozpur, very close to the border between India and Pakistan in Punjab. Gurpreet, if I may come to you, we are seeing how in Jammu and Kashmir schools have been shut. There is heightened sense of security all across the state. What are you witnessing in Firozpur?
Well, yes, of course, we have seen in Punjab border areas a lot of precautions have already been taken by the local administration, and if we can talk about specifically Firozpur, we have seen all the schools have already been shut down here. Earlier they have decided to conduct a mock drill here, but now the local and the civil administration, they are already in touch with the forces also. They are trying to take a lot of precautions so that they will be able to see and sense the condition which is going on between India and Pakistan at this point of time. We have some of the local people also who have also seen 1971 war. We have seen the people, they are also very aggressive because this is the time to show unity with the nation at this point of time. We will talk to them. तो आपने 1971 की वॉर भी देखी, आज दोबारा देखा है कि जैसे इंडिया ने बड़ा एक्शन किया है स्पेसिफिकली क्योंकि टेररिज्म को अपरूट करने की कोशिश की जा रही है.
बिल्कुल 1971 में लड़ाई देखी है हमने. उस टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा दहशत थी. उस टाइम हरियाणा में रहता था, उसमें सब लोग डरे हुए थे, पता नहीं क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा. आज भी फिरोजपुर में वही माहौल है. स्कूल सारे बंद कर दिए गए हैं. लोगों में डर है कि आगे क्या होगा. लड़ाई से बहुत ज़्यादा माहौल डरावना हो गया है. हर आदमी डरता है.
आपने भी लगातार देख रहे हैं कि जैसे देश में लगातार टेंशन बढ़ रही है. स्पेसिफिकली हमने देखा कि जो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट है उसका वो है कि जो टेररिज्म है वो ख़त्म करना चाहिए. तो इसको लेके आज जो स्ट्राइक की गई है
बिल्कुल ठीक किया. जो मोदी सरकार ने किया बिल्कुल ठीक किया. ये होना चाहिए. जो खून खराबा हो रहा है इसका जवाब देना ही पड़ेगा. ये जवाब ना दे तो हम कमज़ोर हो जाएंगे. इसका जवाब जो दिया मोदी ने बहुत अच्छा जवाब दिया. आज फिरोजपुर के हालात बहुत माड़े हैं. बिजनेस ठप हो चुका है. फिर भी हम बॉर्डर में बैठे हैं. हम उनके साथ बैठे हुए हैं. जो होगा अच्छा होगा.
तो आप भी इस समय जो सिचुएशन देख रहे हैं इसमें जैसे लगातार देख रहे हैं कि बॉर्डर एरिया फिरोजपुर होने के नाम पे लोगों में भी यहाँ पे आक्रोश है कि जो टेररिज्म की रोज़ एक्टिविटी क्रॉस द बॉर्डर होती है उसको कहीं ना कहीं स्नब किया जाए, ख़त्म किया जाए.
जो फिरोजपुर बॉर्डर पे बैठे हैं ना, हमने तो 65 की लड़ाई पहले देखी 1965 की, फिर 1971 की लड़ाई देखी, लेकिन जो अब लड़ाई है वो टेररिज्म की है। वो टेररिज्म ज़रूर ख़त्म होना चाहिए। बॉर्डर वालों में बहुत उत्साह है कि ये जो मोदी साहब कर रहे हैं ये बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं और ये ख़त्म होना चाहिए। इसका ख़त्म होने जो कारण है वो सिर्फ यही है और कोई एक्शन नहीं ले। यही एक्शन जो ले रहे हैं बिल्कुल ठीक है। इसी से वो थोड़ा सा टल पड़ेगी, वरना तो ये बंद नहीं होगा।
Well, clear word from the people of this border area from Firozpur. They say the way the Indian government has already taken this initiative to uproot terrorism from across the border, they have already appreciated, and they have also shown the solidarity with the nation at this point of time. Though we have seen multiple precautions have already been taken by the local administration, and all the schools have already been shut down here in Firozpur area and specifically in district Firozpur. Back to studio.
All right. Well, we're just going to come back. And again, a reminder, 1 hour, 10 minutes or so is when that press conference will happen. And there will be word, I'm sure, hopefully clarity on the extent of the air battles which have reportedly been taking place as well. But in as much as we talk about the strikes in Pakistan, and it is so important to reflect that Bahawalpur, Gulpur, Muridke, these are some of the areas where India has really hit Pakistan. The Hizbul Mujahideen camp near Sialkot has been blown up. The Jaish-e-Mohammed's headquarters in Bahawalpur has been destroyed. That our government and our forces would have known that if you hit Pakistan, they will retaliate. There has been retaliation. India has retaliated to that as well. And by that I mean artillery shelling across the line of control in the international border. The details on an air battle having taken place, that's still sketchy at this stage. There is unconfirmed information coming in. We are waiting for that clarity. But until such time as that press conference happens, and we've been asking for several hours now, that clarity has so far not emerged. But these are tense times. There are casualties on both sides. In fact, the government of India has confirmed that at least 3 civilians have been killed on our side. Our defense sources have confirmed that we've hit the Pakistanis very hard on their side of the line of control in artillery shelling. What happens next is the question. Is this going to go up the escalation matrix or not? General Satish Dua with us as well. General Dua, do you believe that there is a real possibility of this becoming more or going up the escalation matrix?
We will talk to them. So,
all right.
We don't have General Dua, but General Moore, would you like to take?
Yes.
Would you like to take that question, General Moore?
Yeah, see, knowing Pakistan and Pakistan military, this is the time for them to, they look for this, anti-India. That is the only glue that sticks Pakistan army with the people of Pakistan. So I'm sure they would be retaliating, probably on targets close to the LC. But for them to find targets not going to be easy. If they hit military targets, then the second phase will hit very harder. Any of their formation headquarters, brigade headquarters, divisional headquarters, ammunition dumps, fuel dumps, all that will also become a target. So let's wait and watch. But at least in the UDA cycle, what we speak of Orient, observe Orient, decide and act, we are ahead of them. So they will be reacting. So when an enemy is reacting, you're always ahead of them in the planning process. So I think we should have wargamed all the options that Pakistan could do, the enemy courses of action, and good that we have taken the initiative.
General Moore, while we know about Bahawalpur, Muridke, there are other places also within POK, Savai, for example, Sarjal, Barnala. These are infiltration routes which have been destroyed by India. And Sarjal and Barnala in particular are located close to international border and the line of control, and they are considered as almost like gateway points of infiltration. India has chosen its target carefully, calibrated it, and calculated it. And that's why it's saying that it's a strike with great precision, and it's not a strike on a military installation, neither it's a strike on a civilian or an economic installation.
I think that it's a brilliant planning, especially hitting Muridke. We've all commanded formations very close to Muridke. It's so close to the border. And Muridke was always the headquarter of Lashkar-e-Toiba. So hitting Muridke, hitting Bhawalpur, deep into Pakistan's Punjab province. So it sends really a message also to the local people also, because wherever these, you can say this terror factories or madrasas, where they really, nobody likes them around. So I think sooner or later, if these are really destroyed and they don't come up, then it's the best thing possible. In the target that we have hit in POK are exactly the routes where the Pakistan army gets these people together, trains them for some days, and then depending on the time and this thing, they launch them across the LC into in any parts of Jammu and Kashmir. So I think very well calibrated targets, very well hit. And as per reports are concerned, there has been absolutely, we caught them napping. The time, the date. Imagine we planned the mock drills today, and the news that was going around was that probably the strikes will take place after the victory parade in Moscow. So there is amazing amount of, in spite of, there is so much transparency in the battlefield today. But I think we were able to surprise them really well. So hats off to all the planners who've done this brilliant action.
While, in the dead of the night, Pakistan woke up with these strikes from India, the message and the bang of these strikes is now being heard all across the world. There are countries, those who are reacting to what India has done. Most countries, and I must underline this, have supported India's retaliation as India's right after the Pahalgam terror attack. Let me go across to our colleague Arjun, who's joining us at this moment from the news pit, to give us a sense of how the world has reacted to Operation Sindoor. Arjun,
that's absolutely right, Ankit. You put things into perspective very clearly and properly. The latest, in fact, statement coming in from the Israeli envoy to India, Reuven Azar, and I'm quoting him here, where he mentions Israel supports India's right for self-defense. Terrorists should know there's no place to hide from the heinous crimes against the innocent. For our viewers joining us right now, in fact, I'll repeat the Israeli envoy's statement where he says Israel supports India's right to self-defense. Terrorists should know there's no place to hide, in fact, from their heinous crimes against the innocent. We've got one more recent statement being released, and this is being released by Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary, where he says, in regard to the terrorist attack that occurred in Kashmir on the 22nd of April, our country firmly condemns such acts of terrorism. Now, these were two of the latest statements which have in fact come out right now. Meanwhile, the United Nations, America, all other countries are also very carefully following the developments. Not only all of these statements in fact come at the back of Pakistan being slammed at the UNSC, at the emergency closed door meeting it had in fact called, prior to which our External Affairs Minister had spoken to all the non-permanent members, and also Prime Minister Modi with his unparalleled outreach to other world leaders had already briefed them. Back to you, Ankit.
Arjun, the significance of the fact that India was constantly keeping its allies informed. Soon after the terror strike, which happened on our soil on 22nd, there was a briefing which was held in the Ministry of External Affairs of 30 envoys. Thereafter, we had seen India carry out its diplomatic offensive, and now the military offensive, and National Security Advisor making that call.